Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you all for having us here. Thank you to La Diputació de Barcelona and all the colleagues for the kind invitation. Thank you to the people that are watching online and that have interest in our session. I have the honor today to share an amazing round table with specialists from the tourism industry. As you know, our session is talking about sustainability, digitalization, and competitiveness. Does this go together? The question is yes. Every time you see more and more things happening that are really being done, it's not talking about projects, it's things that are happening, and you can see a lot of examples around the world. So we go on the right, we're heading to the right bullet, we're going to the right way. And that's why I would like to know today about all the candidates that you present yourself for 1 minute and that you say what you're doing, and afterwards we'll go to the questions of the session. Anna?
Hello, can you hear me well? Yes? Well, yes, I will introduce myself. I'm Ana Moniche from Turismo Andaluz, and I was also a member of Mitomed project, so I know many of you, not all of you, but many of you. And it's a pleasure to be here because it is really a Med community, because more or less we all know each other. We are members of the Med community, and really the Provincial Tourism Council of Barcelona is doing a great job here building this community, which is really like a family or a group of friends working together for the same objectives. And also they have been able to involve high-level members like Valentina Superti and Virginia from the UNWTO. So thank you very much for letting me be here, for being in this wonderful table that I am really enjoying with my partners. I hope I don't disappoint with all these high-level people. So yes, I will try to answer the question that we have been asked: how can Mediterranean destination benefit from applying new and existing digital tools? So it is true that, that destinations can benefit from digitalization. Digitalization is a channel for marketing, is a channel for presenting our tourism asset to our demand, to our customers. It is also a channel to interact with the private stakeholder, public and private stakeholders. And it also is a source of information and of data that give us tools to manage sustainability and to manage the competitiveness of our destination. And it is as well something, the digital connectivity that almost force us to cooperate all together among the same direction, because we all have to take the train of digitalization. So how can we use digitalization for sustainability and competitiveness? Well, from my source of expertise, from my background, I can understand that digitalization, what is given us is a lot of data all through the process of the journey of the customer, from searching, from reservation, from being at the destination, and from including some kind of opinions of the customer. All this give us lots of data to destination, to manage destination, and to look for competitiveness and for sustainability. But these different sources of data sometimes, most of the times, are not coherent, and it's difficult to integrate all of them in order to have good data, to have good decisions, and not to take us to misleading conclusions using different data that can give us different insights. So How can we manage this big amount of data? This is something that we need to build from the destination. We need to have the proper skills, insight in order to understand all these sources of data, to integrate traditional data that those of us that have been working for a long time, it was the only data that we have some years ago. Now we have to integrate many of the data. We have to integrate in our destination people with technical skills. We also have to learn about preparing as a common semantic in order to integrate all this data. And we have also to have the legal background to be able to integrate all this data. So this is the second point that came to my mind when working for sustainability and competitiveness through digitalization, is how to translate all this insight that we have from the data into real decisions. Apart from the skills that we need from the technical side, from those people working with data at the destination, we also take into account that we have organizational bias in our organization, in our DMOs, because traditionally they have been designed for management, for marketing purposes, not so much for management purposes. So we need to do this transition as well at our destination. So this is a skills from the data scientists, for the people that work on data, to translate the insights to those that have the decisions, but also those taking this decision, not looking just at the numbers in the way that we need to attract more tourists, but also that we need to search for competitiveness and also for sustainability. And then is point 3 that I'm not going to give more insight that the speakers this morning gave to us, which is how to take action into sustainability. Jeremy Smith, Virginia, and also Jaume from Valencia has been talking about this. We need tools. We need we have tools already. I mean, we have also Alitina Superti given us the insight of tourism transition pathways. We have the Sustainable Development Goals. We have the climate action plans, the Glasgow Declaration. We have all these tools. But these tools has also need some support of budget attached to the tools, because otherwise it's going to be difficult. This is something that can maybe challenge the tourism transition pathways, because it's not clear the link of these tourism transition pathways with the budget. This is just to understand that digitalization also is forcing us to collaborate, even if we are a competitive destination. And this is like the germ of the project that I'm going to present to you today, which is the Tourism of Tomorrow Lab. The Tourism of Tomorrow Lab has a long history. It is a project that was supported by the European Commission. At the end, we have integrated within Nextur. We are now a project of Nextur, which has a total sense because we need to collaborate among destinations. What we are doing is not to collaborate in the sense of sharing data, but we are sharing knowledge, we are sharing expertise, we are building a kind of a common data department for all the destination that's are our members. We are working now with our premium members. We started working in January this year, and we already have some insights and some results that are really interesting, and I don't have time to share them with you, but we will do in the near future. We are working now with Valencia region, with Lapland, Occitania, Navarra, País Vasco, Andalucía, and Catalonia as well. We are a tourism intelligence system that we are working to support destination using data for decision making, but also to obtain the sustainability of the region. We have already, as I said before, premium DMOs that are using our services already. And what is different with the Tourism of Tomorrow Lab? We work together with the destination people working at the destination, with the technical people, and also with the managers, in order to not just to use data, but also to understand what decision and what are the questions of the destination that need to be solved with data, with this data we are using. We provide consultancy services, and we want to leave the knowledge inside the destination. We propose collaboration between destinations, so this is not just individual consultancy with the destination, but we share our knowledge because we are a network of regions, and this is one of the best things, I think, from my point of view, of the Tourism of Tomorrow Lab, that we share our knowledge. We actively invite also providers in order to give us their insight, how can they help destination, but we are not just a marketplace for data providers. Our first aim is to work with the destination, with the data that are already at the destination, that at the first moment they don't need to buy any data, they need to work with the destination they already have, and if they want to complement this data, we can talk with the providers and we can advise them what kind of providers are more interesting for the problems. So we are also working, as we are inside Nestur, that you know we work mainstreaming European Union priorities into destination and also integrating the priorities of the destination into European policies. We are also working in a project that has been launched by the DG Reform, which is a flagship support to the tourism ecosystem towards a more sustainable, resilient and digital tourism. We are working also with the OECD and trying to design a common system of indicators that help us, the destination, to align with the European Union priorities, policy priorities, with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, with the Glasgow Declaration, and so on. We are going to develop a methodology. We are going to provide a common system of indicators trying to help the destination to align with the reforms proposed at the European Commission level. We integrate this capacity building at the destination, and we are also going to produce pilot activities of this system of indicators in Andalusia, in Valencia, in Catalonia, and in Navarra. So I think this is all from my side, and if you have any question, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna. We have now Manuela Bigi speaking online from Tuscany region. Can you see us?
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm glad to be here even through online connection. But we are talking on digitization, so online connection is perfect. So I'm Manuela Bigi. I work for the tourism department of Tuscany region. And this afternoon, I would like to introduce briefly an experience that we have experimented with the project Smart Destination, which has been a project co-financed by the Italy-France Maritime program. And because I think it can be a good example of all what Anna was right now mentioning about the idea of data and integration of data. But before starting with Smart Destination, let me introduce the starting point of the project. As you know, destination to promote themselves use digital platform and they share through this platform information and promote their offer. However, the data available on the platform, on the portal, often doesn't fully meet the needs of the user. So they have to switch from one platform to the other to have the proper information. And then when I'm talking about user, I'm talking about tourists, but also tourism operators. Smart Destination was taking into consideration this situation. And at the same time, we took also into consideration that through their digital platform, destinations are collecting a lot of different and interesting data, both from the demand side, so what tourism are searching for when they are connecting in the platform, and also from the supply side. What is the destination offering and promoting through their web platform? So starting from this consideration, starting point, Smart Destination tried to create a unique digital ecosystem among different, for different destinations: Tuscany, Liguria, Sardinia, and Métropole Nice Côte d'Azur, so a French partner, not just Italian one. At the beginning, we started to work on this project in 2017, so many years ago, before COVID anyway, and before we started to talk about interoperability for tourism. Right now we are doing during this last period. So at the beginning we have for each destination had his own database with a lot of interesting data within. So we try to integrate all this data in a unique data lake. And let me say that it was not easy, because each destination has got a different regulation, methods for data collection, data models. So we had to do a big effort to make all this data ready to be integrated. And then when we have this, let's say, unique data lake, joint data lake, we implement two tools just to demonstrate how this data could be useful for the destinations, public operators, but also private operators. And so we test two different tools. One was an app, Smart Tour, which promoted the cross-boarding area altogether. So in a unique place, you could find all the information of the 4 different regions from one side. From the other, we also develop tools to monitor some data, and we call it Smart Monitor. We use the data available in the unique database to have some interesting information on user, on customer. So it was through the dashboard, was simple to see which type of user were connecting to our digital platform, not just in Tuscany, but in the whole area. So what they were looking for, from which country they were coming from, and so on. So it offered an interesting, some interesting information about the market. But at the same time, the dashboard was restituting also information about the contents included in the platform. I make just an example about how to use this data. You have got a lot of private offer promoted in your destination, but if you would like to take some decision to managing the tourism flow, especially in some period, and to spread in different part of your regions, you have also to take into consideration what you are promoting. So is your offer properly represented within your portal or not? So through this dashboard, you could have in a simple way at once this type of information. And thanks to this, you could take decision on how to promote, if you have to take some action towards specific type of offer or in some part of your destinations and so on. What challenges we have to face to arrive to the main results? First of all, governance, because we are talking about interoperability data, but we already know that it's not a matter of technologies, it's often a matter of governance. And it means, in one word, how we want to organize the digital ecosystem. So who is sharing data, what is going to share, and who is willing to do it? Because don't forget, when we talk about sharing data, it's also a matter of willing. From the other side, we talk about also of method and models. As I said, each destination has got different type of data models, different regulations, classification, and so on. So we have to create an homogeneous taxonomy. So we have to call things in the same way. And then we have to use a unique data model to make this data shareable. And last but not least, we also took into consideration the private-public partnership, because we try to have on board private operators and private stakeholders since the beginning. So from the design phase to the implementation to the testing phase of the tools, so that we can get additional data available, but at the same time to design the tools in the way that they are really useful, not just for the public institutions, but also for the private operators. Just a couple of information still. We are capitalizing the results of Smart Destination. So we use this experience to improve, to develop the Regional Digital Observatory on Tourism. So it was really a great experience from one side. And what is still needed? I think that in addition of governance, organization, and involving also of the private operators, I think that we need to reinforce skills. Anna was mentioned this topic right before. We need data analysts. We need somebody that can support us to use this data in a proper way. We work on many different type of direction. From one side, we are spreading skills, awareness, and try to improve skills through some big events. We are going to organize for the end of November the BTO, which is a national event, the main national event on tourism digitization in Italy. It will be held in Florence. Just to mention some data, last year we had more than 100 workshops, 15 hours of toolbox, more than 200 speakers. So we try to bring together all main stakeholders and actors to talk about tourism digitization and to help them to improve these aspects. And at the same time, we are also improving the governance at local level. You had among the speakers also Anci Toscana this morning, and we work with them to try to involve local destinations, small destinations, in the process of sharing data by using collaborative platform. So we involve them in creating joint promotion action and so on by using data. So just to be sure that this approach is not just managed at the regional level, but also involve and take into consideration different level of the destination. Of course, I'm available to offering you all of the information or additional elements on Smart Destination, but let me say that it was really a difficult or complicated, but great experience. So thank you a lot. I hope I spend 5 minutes and no more. In case, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much, Manuela. So some of the speakers today have presentations. Others, they are not going to do a presentation, but they are going to present themselves. So please, Ignacio, up to you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ignacio de las Cuevas. I work for Eurecat, a technology center in Catalonia. And while my colleagues were talking, I counted 85 guests sitting right now where you are. Out of these 85 people, I would say that 95% of you are somewhere else, are listening to the speakers, but at the same time, you are multitasking. You have developed a lot of skills that allow you to be here and somewhere else. In my opinion, and I'm just talking personally, I think that the pandemic has really fueled a lot of changes in our behavior, and that also, tourism is a reflection of society, if you agree with me. We are living uncertain times. We pass from this VUCA context into a BINE context where there's a lot of complexities, ambiguities, uncertainties, complexities in a nutshell. From my perspective, working for a technology center, we have come to realize how difficult it is now to speak the same language. And allow me to elaborate further. When we are now talking on tourism, and I'm a tourism professional myself, I kind of convert it into this innovation and technology, digital path of way, let's say. And I realized that for a destination to really get benefit the most out of digitalization, we should all have to try to at least speak the same language. This is something that right now we are facing in the context of the cities and the municipalities where we work, and this of course applies to the Mediterranean basin. We are seeing that all this help, all this assistance that are converting through the Next Generation funds can be a great opportunity to make things right, but also to make things wrong. When it comes to digitalization, we are quite critical because we just want to make sure that technology is used as an enabler, yeah? It's used basically as a facilitator. It's used as a change maker. And that implies to have a thorough understanding of what it is and the externalities that it can cause. We are not very much, I would say, even myself, cognizant of the importance of cybersecurity in the world we are living, because we basically click on these accept cookies and stuff, but there are a lot of implications behind that also we have to be mindful. So when we are going back to normal, back to after the pandemic, have we really learned the lesson? Are we really using and taking advantage of digitalization? This is exactly the core of our business right now, trying to make understand that whatever tools we develop are used in the proper way. And what we were saying this morning about creating or making sure that we foster accessibility, that's key in today's world. Also making sure that all the things that we are developing are not promoting greenwashing. I think another notion that it can hurt the industry very much, because it's very easy to say you're sustainable. I mean, it's actually very, very easy to pronounce that. But in real terms, what are the actions that your company or your organization is doing? That's where really we have to see that people are walking the talk. We have to also talk about democratization, but technology, on the other hand, can be a double-edged sword and can create a lot of bipolarization between people in society. So having all these contexts in mind, the work we do in Eurecat at the Technology Center, we work very closely with, as I said, SMEs, more than 1,700 companies in Catalonia specifically. We help municipalities and public entities to better manage their tourism flows, helping them to know where the tourists move around the destination, where do they stop, how much time they spend in one place. And even we're going farther and we are using big data to also analyze through the transactions done with the credit card in what of the subsectors of tourism tourists are spending more money in and on. Yeah? The same applies to the nationality and also what time of the year that happens. So this is just to say that it's multifaceted, it's a very ever-evolving world that we are going to be challenging and basically facing a lot of challenges in the future. We are talking about this resilience. We are talking about making tourism stronger. And what we have learned with this pandemic is, first and foremost, is the cooperation and creating strategic alliances between organizations that probably before we never used to work before. I think with the pandemic, and again, it has triggered that many of us now are opening our views a little bit further, and concepts that, like for example, we were talking before about big data. The importance of data is the new oil, according to experts right now. But it's absolutely useless to have data if you don't know how to interpret the data, if you don't know how to make decisions upon the data you have. That's why in the jargon that we use at Eurecat, we work about really speaking about smart data. And sometimes we don't need a lot of data, we just need to figure out, and again, this implies to many of you who work closely with organizations and companies, to know what type of data does your customer or your interlocutor needs. According to that, you can really tailor-made, you can come up with solutions, there's a wide array of tools out there, and probably we're gonna see many more happening in the future. So it's basically knowing really well what is the needs that your customer or your interlocutor has, what are all those tools available because again, otherwise you can really have this effect of infoxicity, whereby we are basically flooded with tools and we don't know which one to choose. So that's a main concern that we have seen. We also believe that in order not to make technology this double-edged sword, there's a lot of complicity between what's happening in the ground and what's happening at the more public level. And for that, I think there's a very important role to play with all the grassroots communities at this level, whereby civil society has a very strong role to play. In tourism in particular, it's not all about the decision makers, it's not only about the companies, but it's also, we have to take into consideration universities, knowledge centers, grassroots communities, and I think that for that I praise, because all the things that I've seen in the project so far, you really put the stress on that aspect. I'm going to stick to these 5 minutes so that we have enough space for a debate. So thank you for your time and for inviting me.
Thank you, Ignacio. Thank you very much. Patrick, what are you going to tell us today?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Edgar. Thank you very much to the Diputació de Barcelona for inviting us in this event and for letting us the opportunity to share with you what is Turbit. Turbit is the project that we are leading from the Catalan Tourist Board that is focused in the digitalization of SMEs, small and medium enterprises in Europe, with the support of different areas and different countries in Europe. SMEs are lag behind the digital transformation in our industry. Lack of knowledge, lack of leadership, lack of resources, both financial and human talent, resistance to change, different levels of digitalization. The digital transformation is not just about software, data and technology, it's also about behavioral change, investing, understanding of the return of investment, sustainability and competitiveness. Collaboration across organizations and sectors, tech community, startups, is essential to succeed in the digital transition, but it's not easy for tourism SMEs because this lack of view, context, and time. The adoption of data, the culture of data, is also a key factor for the sector to become more competitive and more efficient. The success of this digital transformation for a tourism SMEs relies on, first, upskilling, second, reskilling, third, smart use of technologies, leading change, investing, collaborating, and monitoring mainly. The Turbit project was co-founded by, the European Commission program COSME. The project leader is the Catalan Tourist Board, and the aim is to accelerate the digitalization and the innovation uptaking of tourism SMEs in Europe through a transnational and cross-ecosystem support service scheme based on a 3 pillars methodology: learning, building, and testing and implementing. The project was started in 1st of January 2022 with 30 months of duration, and the partnership is built by 8 partners and 7 destinations. The Catalan Tourist Board here in Catalonia, the Barcelona Chambers of Commerce here in Catalonia as well, the Paris Compagnie in France, Arctur in Slovenia, Brussels Agency for Business Support in Belgium, Iceland Tourism Cluster in Iceland, Lapland University of Applied Sciences in Finland, and Nest Tourism Innovation Center in Portugal. Marta is here with us today to talk about it. The service that we are offering for the tourism SMEs in Europe are related with these 3 elements, with these 3 pillars. Learning. Learning about trends, about experiences, about success cases, about skills. Assess the level of digitalization with the Digital Readiness Index, DRI, and receiving recommendations to boost it. Discovering the most recent trends and top technologies applied to tourism. Watching the Tourism 4.0 introductory webinar, a pre-recorded online webinar on the fundamentals of digital technologies and its practical application in the tourism sector. Reading the Turbit Lear release on the top market-tested and commercially ready for adoption of technologies. Gaining some insights on tourism and some technological solutions in our Tourism 4.0 deep dive sessions. Data analytics, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, blockchain, cybersecurity, virtual reality, and augmented reality, and acquiring new skills depending on their digitalization level. The webinars will take place by the end of this year, 2022. Second, building a network, building a community, enlarging our community and engaging with the tech and startups community as well. Being part of the Tourbis, the tourism business community, you will be able to receive the most updated information on the tourism activities, connecting with other peers, joining discussions, and signing up for Tourbit webinars, co-creating new business opportunities with the tourism actors and the tech and startup community. The Tourbit co-creation workshops and a European hackathon will take place in 2023. One European hackathon that will help us to identify new ideas, new proposals in order to boost this digital transformation. And last but not least, the testing and implementing phase is the option to present your digitalization project and get the chance to receive up to 8,000 euros or 9,000 euros, depending on the country, to support the implementation of these projects. The Tourbit acceleration program will start in January 2023. Then these three pillars: learning, building, testing, and implementing. Which learnings we have from this Tourbit through the interviews to the tourism SMEs and experts? First of all, this gap between the implementation of innovative technologies and the implementation of basic technologies. Many enterprises are still at a very low level of digitalization, and before using more and advanced innovative technologies, the tourism industry needs to ensure a good functioning of the core technologies. A lack of strategy. The offer is very big and difficult to find one's way through. The lack of strategy will delay technological adoption, and we need to have a strategy, but also an action plan to implement it involving everyone in the company. Training is not useful if there is no follow-up. We need to offer constant coaching, mentoring to apply the skills and learning. We need to be selective because it's better to come up with a solution that meets a specific need than just to implementing technologies to use new tools. Must have versus nice to have. Think on the return of investment. We need to identify the impact on business efficiency, customer satisfaction, and business opportunities. Cybersecurity, as commented before, cybersecurity is the basis of all digitalization process and is a big challenge for tourism SMEs. It's important to learn about cybersecurity best practices, implementing effective firewalls, and updating software to the latest version. Business processes and the value chain have to be identified, and corresponding security measures have to be applied on each component. SMEs have to be given simple tools to secure data. It's this project one of our main pillars of the transformation, but I think here is not to talk just about technology, it's not to talk about emerging tools, is to talk about community, about business, about to create this tourism business community. It's important to thrive this innovation, sustainability, and digitalization in tourism, thanks to interchanging and the sharing information with the different actors of the project. Then Tourbit is ready. Tourbit is here to change and to help to the transformation, and obviously all of you are invited to participate in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Marta,
Yes.
welcome on stage.
Good afternoon. I had a presentation. Well, yes, I can start. So good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation and for the opportunity of being here and sharing our case to you. So I come here as NEST, Tourism Innovation Center in Portugal, which is an association, a non-profit association that was founded back in 2019, and it's a public and private partnership which results as a strategy of governance of Turismo de Portugal, the 2027 strategy. So what we did here, it is the On the public sector, we have Turismo de Portugal, and then we came across different sectors of the economy. So we have the technological partners, Google and Microsoft. We have the banks, 2 banks on board. We have communications, NOS, and we also have the transportations, airports, and Brisa Via Verde, which is the highways. So what we want here is to promote innovation, to foster innovation, to incite new ways of thinking besides the 4 walls that we are used to in tourism, because we feel that we have to learn so much about other sectors, and this is why we came together. So which is... Okay. Oops, sorry. Yes. So what is in the base? What are the vectors that are in the base of our source? First of all, we focus on the seamless experience. And this means that we look at the customer journey and we really try to see and understand what are the pain points that tourists should face or can face. So it can be the contactless payments, it can be a seamless check-in, it can be the biometrics in the airports. There are several things that we can do, and we still can eliminate these pain points and these obstacles to make the perfect and smooth experience for the tourist. Then we have the data-driven business. Of course, data. We have so much data available, and what we do here is to help the SMEs to transit to this digital transition and to really help them to see the benefits of using this data and this technology. Of course, with the use of data, we have to be more accountable, more technology, more accountability. As spoken previously, we have to have concerns about data security. We have to have concerns about inclusivity, accessibility, diversity, and even health and well-being, which is all about tourism. Of course, we always look for pleasurable experiences. And then in the end, of course, and this is maybe the sustainability, which is always present. We always look for solutions that are sustainable by design, and which is in the core of all our action. So now I'm going to just share a little bit of how we do it, a little bit of this experience. And well, first of all, we have a strong innovation culture. What we want is to transfer knowledge to the SMEs, which are our main audience. And in here, we try to, in our website, we have the longest startup list with startups with services and solutions for tourism, not only with tourism, but for tourism. We promote events where we gather the university, the corporates, the startups, and even sponsors TV programs where we incite this entrepreneurship and innovation. Then on this innovation culture, something that we do to transfer this knowledge, we focus very much on webinars that we've been doing, 80 in the past year, 40,000 hours visualized, where we invite specialists and they come and talk about several themes. It can be about the technologies, it can be about security or trends in tourism. I mean, we have several themes that are here. But then we also have another part in our plan of action, which is the part of the pilots and the experimentation. It started on a hotel, on a school of Turismo Portugal, which has an application hotel, where we invite corporates and startups that want to test a new product or a new service. And so we have so far done these pilots on sustainability, for instance, on water management, where we invite a startup to apply and to install beacons on this hotel and to measure with real guests and to have real reports and we can see the results of these experimentations. And then in the end, we disseminate throughout all the industry, because as an association, that is what you do. We learn, we accelerate the learning curve, and then we share to the community. Let me just... Yes. But not only on the experimentation, innovation culture, and even building some tools, we also have the transnational cooperation that we feel it's so important, of course, and on the Sturbit that Patrick already presented. This is just one of the activities that is at this moment that we are at this moment running, and what we do as well is to invite partners from all these 8 countries to experiment a little bit more to expose their use cases, because what we feel is that the tourism SMEs need to see more cases. They need to understand the benefits on applying these technologies, but they also need to see already what their peers have been doing. And so this is what also we've been doing here. And last, and this is only a few actions, but also we are a Portuguese digital innovation hub, and we've been recently we have been approved as a European digital innovation hub totally dedicated to tourism. So again, in here, we do this digital skills training, which is so important, and has been talked throughout all day in here to promote the SMEs and all the ecosystem. And this is it all. Thank you for the opportunity of being here. And if you feel we can collaborate, feel free to call in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marta. Thank you all. It was a great presentation of each one of you. And I'm very happy, by the way, we're talking about sustainability and digitalization because I'm organizing the Tourism Innovation Summit in Seville, in Andalusia, as you know, in November. One of our main pillars is equality, gender equality, and we are there too. So I'm very happy with this table too. So what I wanted to ask you is, I don't know who dares to answer the first question, but how can digital systems be used to help protect the environment and generate competitive advantage? Who dares?
I can, if
Anna.
let me. Yes, I can share with you a very specific project that we have been doing at Tourism of Tomorrow Lab, one of the experience that we had. And it is a very small but clear example of how digitalization can support the sustainability of destination. We did a project where we analyzed the data that came from a website that was managing the parking slot for a natural space. So this web page, this platform was not really designed for decision making, for using data, but it had really powerful information in order to manage a place and foster the sustainability of a special natural site. We identify what were the peak days and the peak hours, but that of course people at the destination more or less knew, but we identified that it could be maybe useful to take action by using different prices for the different time periods and on the day and along the year in order to manage sustainability. The objective of these different prices wasn't, of course, to increase the income of the management of the site, but to change the behavior of the consumers, of the visitors, in order to spread their visit along the year and along the day. And also it was another project that could came from this first approach was to identify what type of cars were coming to this natural site and what was the CO2 emission of them, and to count them on the number of persons in each of the cars. So this is maybe too specific example and a very small one, but it is from my point of view, it's a very clear example of how can digitalization help to manage sustainability.
I totally agree. Finally, it's what we said. We're all talking about what we want to do, but with these small examples, there is a way that we start and we can make people believe that change is possible, right? Someone else wants to add something. Manuela, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yes, I can bring some example from Tuscany. If you are talking about sustainability, of course, it's not a matter, as you said, of policymakers, not a matter of institution, because you can tell whatever you want about sustainability, but you have to make your offered real sustainable. So if your tourism operator take into consideration sustainability as part of their job, is something concrete. Otherwise, you risk to promote something that it doesn't exist. This is as general reflection of the issue. So it's not a matter of public, but it's also a matter of private offer. From our side, we try to promote different solutions. From one side, to manage tourist flows. We have been involved in different European projects. One is also Herit Data, co-financed by the Interreg Med project. Thanks to some, let's say, digital tools, we can offer solution to manage flows, which is an aspect, to avoid to concentrate all the flows within a specific area or street and so on. From the other side, we should also take into consideration some promotional action. We had some experience some years ago, for instance, to promote the reduce of plastic use in the beaches. And in Italy, as you know, beaches are managed by not all, but some of them are private, are public, but are managed by SMEs and tourism operator. So in this case, we create some special agreement with them to reduce the use of plastic in their area, and we support them and promote them with the specific information campaign, some communication tools, and so on. So we had a sort of public-private partnership to support them to be in some way sustainable. I think that both these aspects should be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Manuela. Yeah, we all agree also about the importance, and we all said it, of the collaboration, public-private. Any of you wants to add something to this question?
I think on my side, I think it also goes down to what we've been talking a lot. It is this, that digitalization technologies allows to measure, and better measurement will lead to better management. So this is really the focus point, and I think the SMEs have to, SMEs, because in our case, we talk, our audience are the SMEs, but yes, we can then have several impacts. This is not something that is ethereal. It is a proper concept that we have indicators, we can see, we can have results. And then also on the customer, on the tourist side, they will have access to more information, and their behavior can change, right? Once they are more conscious, they will be more conscious of their choices. And so I think it will be more clear for everyone. So it all comes down to measurement. Yeah.
Fully agree.
I think,
Ignacio, Patrick?
Patrick.
No, I think it's not a question to talk about, on one side, digital transformation, on another side, sustainability. I think both must go together always. We don't need that technology if it's for any other purpose than the transformation of our tourism model for a more competitive and sustainable model, and it's through the sustainability. Without sustainability, it's impossible to maintain competitiveness of our tourism ecosystem, of our industry. Then, for us, I think it's not the good question to put on one side digitalization, on the other side the digital transformation. We think that sustainability need to be developed and need to be achieved thanks to technology in terms of energy consumption, in terms of climate action. For example, the main measures for the climate action plan need to be managed thanks to the technology. In terms of mobility, it's clear that the more sustainable mobility could be achieved thanks to the application of the good technology as well. Even not only for the environmental sustainability, but for the social and cultural sustainability. How to manage better the good balance between the residents' needs and the visitors' needs. It's important to use technology in order to put in contact both communities and to help to achieve a better balance between the needs of both of them. I think it's crucial. Without technology, sustainability, it's impossible now.
And it gives us now, the technology helps us to get this balance. So we really have to use it after the pandemic. We have to learn, or we have to make use of that. Ignacio?
Yeah, just a remark, because I think that we all trying to, technology and digitalization are embedded in our lives, and probably there will be more in the years to come. It's very difficult probably to remove that already from our lives, because we are already getting used to that. But I think that what probably many organizations and companies maybe are lacking is really to fully understand the benefits of embracing and how to really digitalize sustainability, which I think is a core topic. Now there are more and more with the double transition, the digital and the green tech transition. Really, there are many more tools, there are many more funds that are basically unlocking and trying to, with a trickle-down effect, go into all the entrepreneurial sector. But I think it's the moment where we really fully understand that by applying sustainability principles, by having the right tools to be more trying to reach this sustainability, we will really see the benefits in a kind of like a quick win. Because it's true that when it comes to environmental sustainability, it might sound too abstract for many people, for many companies and organizations, whereas when you have something more tangible like food waste or like water management, with something that maybe we are more used to on a daily basis, I think it's right then when you can really see like, okay, I'm going to embark on, I'm going to invest, I'm going to fully dedicate some of the staff. I want to know more. I want to provide more training to my staff so that they understand how much better we can get, how much more competitive we can get if we try to learn more stuff about how to become more sustainable.
Thank you, Ignacio. This gives us the chance to jump to the second question, because second question was, why is digital sustainability so important? So I don't know who of you, Anna, I think you want to be the first one again?
Well,
Yeah.
I think
All
most of the things have been said already. Digital solutions are embedded in our lives, and we cannot understand sustainability without digitalization, and the opposite is true as well. What is true is that digitalization gives us very strong and powerful tools for managing sustainability. So this is something that we need to make the most of it, and we must advance. And don't forget that we have these powerful tools in order to attain sustainability, apart from having circular solutions, digital solution or technological solution, or green solutions as well, green technology. We need also to make the best use of data, of information, that the traceability of all the actions that we have now that we didn't have before in order to attain sustainability.
Thank you, Anna. Manuela, as you don't see us, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yes, I mean, it's difficult because all of us are already saying something very interesting. I will try to look it from a different point of view, from the market side. I think that the COVID situation was bringing all of us to try to exploit, to use at best the opportunities offered by technologies, digitization in particular, and how it can be linked also to environmental issues. From the other side, a lot of new demands on sustainable products are emerging and are new segment of the market. So I think that we should try to push what the colleague already said in the previous speech. We should make companies to raise the awareness of companies to fully understand the benefit of using this digitization, and to use it to be also more sustainable, because the market, I think it's really taking that direction. So companies should be ready to exploit these new market opportunities.
Thank you, Manuel. Patrick, you want to add something?
Yes, just to say that I think everyone is conscious about the impact of digitalization in sustainability. But what about the impact of digitalization of the big data, for example, the new technologies and the blockchain, for example, in the impact in the environment? For example, when we are talking about these new systems that are spread all over the world with different servers, consuming a lot of energy during the whole day, during 34/7, during the whole year, it's important to be conscious that all data we have is consuming a lot of energy, and we need to be conscious of it, because if not, the footprint of our digitalization could be one of the main challenges in the future in order to reduce the impact of technology. On one side, we are saying that technology will help us to improve our footprint, but on the other side, we must be careful about the result of the digitalization, because if not, it will be a really complicated element, because we are getting more and more and more and more data every day. Everything is spread, not only big data. The blockchain, for example, is based in this distributed system. It's not one server, it's millions of servers. And all these servers working during the whole day are consuming a lot of energy. And we need to take care about it, because if not, in few years, the main challenge will be to avoid this impact in the environment.
Thank you very much, Patrick. We're running out of time, so I think you might have 30 seconds to add something, if you want.
I might say that probably this decade will be marked by the sustainability and this digital leap, this huge leap that we are facing. And as we know, that the economy will work in the framework of sustainability. And so with the taxonomy coming soon, I think it's either the game or companies and all of us, either we play this game or we're out, right? Because there is no, as we always say, it's kind of cliche, but there's no plan B, and of course.
Totally agree. We have no plan B. Okay, thank you very much, Ana, Manuela, Ignacio, Marta, and Patrick. I hope you guys enjoyed. Also, the people from home, watching from home, thank you very much for watching. And hope to see you soon. If you want next event in Sevilla in November, I will wait for you there. Thank you very much.